Everybody loved him. He was a good man.
We have a young child with cancer.
Tengo que estar con él, tomando decisiones en el hospital, cuidando de él, pues.
The single most surreal moment in the history of this franchise.
With an amazing force to just knock all the fence line down, which you can see was anchored by concrete.
Just within these last few minutes, she's declared victory over Rolando Pablos.
And it looks like the Spurs will get that new downtown arena.
The community is calling on a thorough investigation of what really happened.
A quick turnaround for the jury. They began deliberating around 1:30 p.m. and then came back shortly after.
Tonight, San Antonio is remembering one of its favorite sons, Flaco Jimenez. A public memorial just ended in the last 45 minutes. The service to honor the world-renowned accordion player. 1 week ago today, Jimenez died surrounded by family. He was 86 years old. The legendary conjunto artist from the West Side inspired generations of musicians. Tonight, KENS 5 reporter Megan Reyna is live outside the memorial service. And Megan, what was it like being there tonight?
Henry, it was truly special. There was moments of sadness, of course, but then lots of laughter and joy. The family, they didn't necessarily want a funeral. They wanted a celebration of life, and that's exactly what happened tonight here at the Carver Community Center. This memorial may be called the final curtain call, but his music lives on.
And we are proud that he represented us all over the world, right?
Last Thursday, Flaco Jimenez passed away surrounded by his family at the age of 86. A week later, on this stage, his accordion sits on a table next to his image, where fellow musicians, politicians, and close friends share his impact.
He's the only conjunto artist to have won 6 Grammys.
Many spoke about his influence on younger generations. In the audience was 17-year-old country artist Jacoby Bell.
Yes, I grew up listening to him, especially with Dwight Yoakam and Bucko and Streets of Bakersfield, one of my favorite songs to listen to, and he was featured on that song, and like I said, he'll always be missed, and there'll never be nobody like him.
Teresa Champion says she grew up a few houses down from Jimenez on the West Side. She says not only was he talented, but kind.
Everybody loved him. He was a good man. Flaco was very friendly.
While the night was filled with laughter and sweet stories, there were moments of grief when Jimenez's family took time to speak. This is his daughter, Raquel.
Strong, humble man, even when he was going through his life challenges.
While his accomplishments in life are visible through his many awards and musical collaborations, many say his biggest impact was on the Mexican-American culture. And the night ended as Flaco Jimenez would want it to, with live music. Fans tell me tonight they were just thankful they could be a part of this memorial. Reporting live east of downtown, Megan Reyna, KENS 5.
As migrants continue to head to court to gain citizenship, some have been taken into custody for deportation on the spot. Now, those who are still working their way through the system worry it could happen to them at their next hearing. KENS 5's Zach Briggs spoke to a San Antonio mother of 5 who worries that may become her fate.
Deportation for this family means death.
Fear of the future felt by thousands of migrant families nationwide, including a single mother of 5 here in San Antonio we're calling Norma. She asked us not to use her real name as she faces the possibility of being detained and deported back to Honduras, a country she fled in 2019 because of her abusive husband.
Me golpeaba enfrente de mis hijos, me escapaba de matar.
She works and cares for her kids, age 19, 17, 3, and 11 months old. There's also her 10-year-old son, who is fighting for his life after being diagnosed with T-cell lymphoma.
Tengo que estar con él, tomando decisiones en el hospital, cuidando de él, pues.
It's a grim prospect Norma's attorney, Jonathan Ryan, is all too familiar with after taking her case back in May.
We have a young child with cancer who should be focused on only one thing, and that is getting better. He should not be worrying, crying himself to sleep at night about whether his mother is going to be taken away from him.
Ryan says his client's doing right to seek asylum by attending scheduled hearings and ICE check-ins, even under the shadow of mass detentions. It's a risk she's willing to take.
It's a real testament to her character, to how much she believes in following the law, that she is willing to risk detention, being separated from her children, just to keep on the right side of the law.
And it was this morning here at this ICE facility on the northeast side of San Antonio where immigration attorney Jonathan Ryan says his client had a check-in appointment and she left with an ankle monitor. Her next scheduled appearance set for December 2nd. I'm Zach Briggs, KENS 5.
It's been 1 week since the murder of King of the Hill voice actor Jonathan Joss. Tonight, a powerful tribute. Members of the LGBTQ+ and indigenous communities gathered to honor his legacy. And for the first time, we're hearing from Joss's husband. KENS 5's Mike Jimenez has the story.
Sunday evening at Crockett Park, about 300 people came out to the vigil in remembrance of Joss's life, work, and contributions to the community, while demanding accountability and justice over his murder and what friends and loved ones call a hate crime.
It's really hit home, right, when we see acts of discrimination, harassment, and in gun violence, transphobia, homophobia, and in gun violence. It's not something that we're unfamiliar with in our community.
Josh, 59, was killed on Sunday while checking his mail outside his home, previously destroyed by fire. According to a police report, the suspect, 59-year-old Sigfredo Ceja Alvarez, told officers, "I shot him," as they took him into custody near the scene. Early in the investigation, SAPD released a statement stating there was no evidence to suggest Joss's murder was a hate crime related to his sexual orientation. But days later, Chief William McManus took a step back and said that statement was issued too soon before they had any real information. Joss's husband, Tristan de Gonzalez, says they were constantly harassed for their sexual orientation.
You couldn't go out in the yard without people yelling things through the fence.
After Joss's murder, his husband took to Facebook, calling the murder a hate crime.
The community is calling on a thorough investigation of what really happened.
Many people at the remembrance also stood in solidarity with Joss's husband, Tristan, who says he wants Joss to be remembered for his larger-than-life personality.
It didn't matter who you were. It didn't matter what the world said about you, what your family said about you. He could make you feel like the most important person in the world.
Mike Jimenez, KENS 5.
It's been 22 days since a devastating flood killed 13 people, and the recovery is moving slowly. The damage to infrastructure is massive and will take months to repair. Sue Kalberg takes us on a walking tour of one of the hardest hit areas on Vital Creek.
There's still so much damage out here. We asked Precinct 4 County Commissioner Tommy Calvert to come with us for a walk on the wild side.
I've not seen anything in infrastructure quite like this.
At the spot where 3 drainage channels meet east of Perrin Vital Road, it is a confluence of chaos.
There was a massive amount of water over here. You can see with an amazing force to just knock all the fence line down. So what you can see was anchored by concrete into the ground. So somebody needs to come and study this trajectory here.
Upstream at Old O'Connor Road, this hole is, I'm 5'6", at least 4 feet, right?
Correct.
I mean, the hole that we're standing in is 4
Correct.
feet by 20 or 30 feet.
At least.
All the soil, all the concrete is just, it's gone.
Over 4 feet, yeah.
Yeah. Calvert says people who've been living in fear of rising water tell him they're willing to pay to be safe.
And I have literally asked them, would you be for an increase on the flood control portion of your county tax? And they say yes.
When people reach for their wallets, you know they're serious.
Correct.
He says facing the specter of more frequent floods, action must come sooner rather than later.
We cannot forget this instant, and I know I'm not, and I'm not going to let others forget.
The city is still taking input on their flood survey at KENS5.com. We have that link. On Vital Creek, Sue Kalberg, KENS 5.
The verdict is in. 3 former San Antonio police officers are cleared of all charges in the shooting death of Melissa Perez.
After 4 weeks of testimony and dozens of witnesses, a Bexar County jury found all 3 not guilty. KENS 5's Zach Briggs is live outside the courthouse with reaction from both sides. Zach?
Yeah, quick turnaround for the jury. They began deliberating around 1:30 p.m. and then came back shortly after. And again, as you said, a verdict of not guilty for all former 3 police officers here with the San Antonio Police Department. And ex-officers were found not guilty are including Alfred Flores, Eleazar Alejandro, who were charged with murder, and then Nathaniel Villalobos, who was confronted with a couple counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. It was a packed courtroom today. The day began with closing arguments where the state pressed on criticisms of whether proper protocol by the former officers was being followed back in June of 2023. The defense emphasized testimony from witnesses who said the investigation into Melissa Perez's death was rushed.
How can they make a decision to charge these officers if they didn't look at the videos and they didn't do a thorough investigation? And this is shameful. I would hope that city council, city manager does something about this institutional failure.
And the DA's office said they respected the jury's decision. No further comment at this time. We're also hearing from the city attorney's office, who said they also respect the jury's verdict, but they will continue to defend the city in any civil litigation that pops up involving those 3 officers, former officers. Now we're live downtown San Antonio. I'm Zach Briggs, KENS 5.
Here is a look at the mayor's race. Gina Ortiz-Jones has been in the lead all night, and just within these last few minutes, she's declared victory over Rolando Pablos with nearly 54% of the vote. Our Rania Kaur is at the Ortiz-Jones watch party on the east side. Rania, you heard from Gina Ortiz-Jones just moments ago. What did she have to say?
Alicia, the biggest thing we've been emphasizing since our 5 p.m. show is how Ortiz-Jones has been emphasizing that the biggest thing that she's going to do is be there for the people on all sides of the aisle here in San Antonio. And that's one of the biggest emphasis she's made here in her winning speech just within the last 15 minutes. She said she could not be more thankful that San Antonio, despite what's happening on the national side, has decided to stand with decency, kindness, and compassion on the ballot. And she thanked a coalition of people making this happen, including the LGBTQ community, the veteran community, and she's thankful to serve with everyone in mind, no matter, again, what side of the aisle they're on. But the biggest thing and the biggest group of people she thanked tonight were, of course, her supporters, those voters that came out and helped to make her victory tonight happen.
It was my name on the ballot, but you and I know decency was on the ballot. Kindness was on the ballot. Compassion was on the ballot. And San Antonio showed up and showed out.
Now, of course, she had a host of supporters come out from District 2 Council member Jalen McKee Rodriguez and Sheriff Salazar. When we asked her what she's going to do on day 1, of course, that's tightening the budget, which of course will be the first thing that she'll be walking into when she enters the mayor's seat. So reporting live, I'm Rania Kaur, KENS 5.
Well, the votes are in, and it was a record-breaking turnout throughout Bexar County.
Election officials say Bexar County outpaced 2023 voting numbers by 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon. The cause for the turnout, of course, the big funding decision for a downtown Spurs arena and a makeover for the Frost Bank Center and Freeman Coliseum. And it looks like the Spurs will get that new downtown arena. Voters agreed to use the county's venue and car rental tax to pay for renovations to both Frost Bank Center and the Freeman Coliseum and the Spurs arena.
Yeah, Prop A passed with almost 56% of the vote, and Prop B passed with 52%. KENS 5's Rania Kaur live this morning with a recap and reaction. Rania.
Audrey Berry, Prop A and Prop B passing means that more than $500 million tourism dollars will pay for Freeman Coliseum and Frostbank Center renovations and for the new Spurs Arena downtown. Prop A and B raises the hotel venue tax to its maximum of 2% and extends the car rental sales tax at 5%. $192 million of the venue tax will pay for upgrades and renovations to the Freeman Coliseum and Frostbank Center, allowing the rodeo to become year-round when the Spurs eventually leave. $311 million from the venue tax is now the county's contribution to the estimated $1.3 billion new Spurs Arena to be built downtown. The Spurs lease at the Frostbank Center expires in 2032.
We've now seen the results, and that's going to create incredibly positive momentum for the conversations with all the stakeholders that are necessary. The fact is, San Antonio, when we want to do things big, it takes a collaborative effort. And so the partners at the table are going to be ready and willing and forceful, and we're going to get something special done.
The mayor, following election results, wrote in a statement in part, "The people of San Antonio have voted to approve the county's contribution toward the proposed Spurs Arena, and I will work to ensure this generational investment helps to revitalize our downtown and strengthen our city." The city agreed to contribute $489 million to pay for the new arena. The Spurs agreed to contribute $500 million. Reporting live this morning from the Frostbank Center, I'm Rania Kaur, KENS 5.
Well, today saw the end of an era and the start of a new chapter for the San Antonio Spurs. Greg Popovich officially stepped down as coach and passed the baton to a new coach.
Yeah, before Mitch Johnson was introduced as head coach. What a surprise. For the first time in months, we got to see and hear from Coach Pop. We haven't seen him since he had a stroke in November. Tonight, sports anchor Nate Ryan was there, and Nate, so many emotions today.
Yeah, Henry, it was really cathartic. Maybe the single most surreal moment in the history of this franchise. The purpose of today was a formal inauguration of Mitch Johnson, but it began in almost a church-like processional. Greg Popovich entered the room flanked by the players that helped deliver his best moments as head coach. Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Sean Elliott, all present, including current players. Now, Popovich physically appearing very fragile for the first time in public, but the moment I'm going to remember is when the Hall of Fame coach rose to stand with the help of the two players who he relied on in the glory days of Spurs basketball, Ginobili and Duncan, and then delivered what really felt like a farewell address as head coach. But despite the delicate situation, Popovich made sure to remind us of his sense of humor when he unzipped his jacket to reveal his new title, El Jefe, as president of basketball operations. He expressed full confidence in Johnson as a successor, but also thanks to the fans who know him as the winningest coach of all time.
I want to thank the fans for being right next to us with every win and every loss over these many years. We feel a close bond with you, and we know that we have a big responsibility to you here in San Antonio, and we will never forget that. But thank you for the years of your support, and we won't let you down. We won't win every game, but we'll try to, and we'll do it with class, whether it's a win or a loss. One of the reasons that I'm doing this now is that we have to have someone in charge who's fully capable of giving their very best, because that's what this group deserves and demands. And we have that man here in San Antonio.
And that man is Mitch Johnson, who we'll hear from in a few minutes. But you do wonder how many more times we'll get Greg Popovich in front of a microphone. Now he transitions to his new full-time role, especially now that he doesn't have to speak to the media as head coach. But if it was, it certainly, guys, was the most memorable.
No cell phones in classrooms beginning September 1st. Tonight, it's the law in Texas. Governor Greg Abbott signed the bill in Amarillo today.
And as the new school year begins, area school districts, of course, they are making plans. Tonight, KENS 5 reporter Mike Jimenez is following this new law with parent reaction. Mike?
Henry Easey's parents we spoke with today say they are fully on board with the new law, which bans cell phones in classrooms.
I think it's great. These kids are constantly distracted by their phones.
House Bill 1481 mandates that all public and open enrollment charter schools prohibit students from using personal electronic devices, including smartphones, tablets, smartwatches, and earbuds. Districts have two options: banning students from bringing devices to campus or figuring out how to store them during the school day. Several school districts have not finalized their policy, including Northside ISD, who spoke about their plans last month.
Being in compliance with the law, but also, like I say, striking that balance is going to be our main objective.
Superintendent Dr. John Kraft says he supports recommending students being allowed to bring their devices to school.
Then placed in a designated area in the classroom within the backpack, and to be turned off and not visible, not used during the instructional day.
Northside ISD says they will finalize their plans at the next school board meeting on August 12th. Most people we asked about the new law say they support the ban.
I think they'll be more focused on the classwork. I think they'll be less distracted with social media, with less cyberbullying. I think that we'll see a lot less problems that are in the schools now. I mean, when we grew up, bullying was on campus. Now it's 24/7.
Parent Ana Flores says during school she 100% believes her children should not be using their cell phone, but is in the middle on the new law.
There's pros and there's cons.
Flores says she understands the other side of the argument, how this new law would impact students during an emergency.
And only because the times that they've gone on lockdown, it takes a little while for the school to notify me. But of course, my son immediately, Mom, we're on lockdown. And it gives me a chance to either call the school, what's going on, or come to the school.
And there are some exceptions to the new law, including students that have documented or medical issues. Now, we did also reach out to other districts about their policies. To read their responses, you can head on over to KINS5.com and click on this story. Mike Jimenez, KINS 5.
Well, today the Alamo unveiled its new promenade, a pedestrian-friendly gateway that now welcomes visitors from Commerce Street. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick and new Alamo Trust CEO Hope Andrade cut the ribbon this morning on Plaza de Valero. The promenade features statues honoring key figures in Texas history and shaded seating areas. The new area is all part of the Alamo Master Plan, which Lieutenant Governor Patrick said will be a spectacle when completed.
We'll open up something that people are going to say, it's just incredible. I wish you all could see it today, what it's going to be like. An incredible visitor center and museum that's going to tell the entire story from the beginning all the way through the battle. From Native Americans to the Civil Rights Movement. The focus on the battle for freedom and independence. The story will be told in a way with technology that will be something you would have thought Disney World would have created.
Nearly 900 students from 9 South schools were also at today's event, getting the chance to experience Texas history where it happened.